Alright everyone, so today I thought I would go over all four of my tournament games. I would go over more, but I didn't spectate very many games during the tournament, so I'll just go over the ones that I played. I'll start off with the first one. This one should be quite short because it was a win. Um 1-3 happening, didn't pass. This will just fast forward through, honestly. Not me nominating Evan. This was kind of suspect because I don't really know what happens if the table 9s throw Rami here. This game happened a long time ago, so I don't really remember, but I mean, yeah. Also, Evan going 3-1 to bring me back in was definitely odd, but I do think I can get back into the game at one point. I think there's a I don't I think if he didn't bring me back in, I would have gotten it back in. To clarify why I got Yad, because after this got passed, Evan picked me as the Chancellor and passed as Fascist, which is interesting. But I think I think I can get another Gov there because I got 9'd when normally one should pass. Although I did do a different opening government than what most of these players would prefer. But I think I would get a government eventually, so it's whatever. Basically I just investigate Riddler lib, and Riddler told me to stop talking because and posted my reason in the chat. I'd say that my reads are pretty off this game actually. It took me a while to find Saxjon on his lib, but to be fair, he attacked me early for not a super valid reason. Like, sure, look fascist on the deck, but like he was just calling me like confirmed fascist and stuff he really shouldn't be doing, especially when you're only making a read based off the deck. I'll also say that Starsheep or Wrath or God Perseus, whatever I guess that's the name he's using in the tournament, had me sheeped as well through most of this game because he really liked Riddler. I think he was trying to split lines, or maybe just Hitler didn't know who his fascists were, I forget. But yeah, Dev told me in my group chat that I really shouldn't be sheeped by Starsheep because he's pretty easy to read. Now he spams, like, when he's fascist, he spams like a bunch of filler nonsense, or like truisms, like he spams obvious sentences, obvious facts, to kind of like flood the chat as fascist. And he has no real emotion in his voice when he does stuff like that. As opposed to when he's liberal, he's mad when things don't go his way. So it's pretty easy to read Tournament VC Starsheep because like if he's liberal, you'll know he'll have a cow, and if he doesn't have a cow, then that means he's probably fascist. From the small sample sizes of games that I've had so far. Maybe he'll make a change to his playstyle for the next tournament because he's starting to get scum red for it, and it's making it hard for him to win his fascist. So I wouldn't be surprised if that starts to change. No hate on Starsheep, by the way. Your strategy worked pretty well up until recently. It's starting to get you in trouble. So yeah, maybe change it up a bit. But yeah, Starsheep sheep me, you probably shouldn't have. I liked Evan for a long time. I mean, it's really hard to decide in these three, but I think I just kind of liked Evan's chat. I think I just noticed something that Evan was saying and not what like Warlock or Saxton was saying, because I have a hard time paying attention to everyone's chat in the voice chat and keeping track of notes. I do take notes as liberal and as fascist because I have a hard time remembering what the deck count was, or what people were saying, or what votes were. My ability to focus, and maybe even like my short-term memory might not be as good because of like ADHD or something, but yeah, it is quite hard for me to focus on both the voice chat and regular chat, so I might have missed stuff that these two said. In fact, I probably did, especially since it was my first voice chat game of the tournament and my first serious voice chat game in forever. Well, not forever, I played some practice once, but it definitely took some it definitely took some time to kind of like adjust to this new setting where you can't go and look back at previous things people have said in the chat logs. So yeah, eventually, I did catch Saxtra on his live as well because everyone is treating him like he was one. And Riddler was able to and I made a good investigation. I investigated Riddler lib because of the geo meta and the good player stuff, and he was able to pick good liberals. So yeah, solid game. I spent more time on this than I thought I would, but I guess things popped back into my memory as I was going over it. So yeah, we'll stop going over this one. Fairly simple game. Now we'll go over game 12. Is this the bad one? Bad one for me. I have one bad one and a few just bad luck ones. For the most part. There are definitely things I could have done better in all of them. Not cleared my throat, sorry. Okay, so this game was interesting. I'll kind of just fast forward it. Good opening start. With all the fascists 9015 are in an active. What gov is this again? Envas and Rav. Ah, I see. And it conflicts. That's important because a two fascist triangle is very good like win rate for fascist. So when 4-7 conflicts, that means that the last fascist that means that I am likely not fascist because I was in this triangle, and if I were fascist, then my co-fascist wouldn't cough. Of course, sometimes Hitler can blind cough in these, which is quite rare, I think, personally, because generally as Hitler, like if people are nining to this triangle that doesn't normally pass, in this case it's the geometa triangle, you have to think that maybe some fascists are involved. In this case, there wasn't that many involved with it. There are a few. Well, actually, hold on a second. What were the opening votes? Yeah, you gotta think that when like people are nining to this triangle, some fascists are involved with it, and there were some. So yeah, I mean like this was obviously a good blind conf. Maybe he just read for like not likely as fascist, or maybe just like a risk, but. Yeah, blind coughing here as Hitler is really rare, so 3 looks really good, because you would think that 7 was Reg, and not Hitler coughing this early, because he would probably think that he has fascists in 3 or 4. In this case, Starship correctly guessed he didn't. But yeah, because 4 or 7 declined to continue this triangle, you can deduce that 3 is likely not fascist, because if the fascists in 4-7... The fascists in 4-7 would take the two fascist triangle because that is a ton of win rate. Just play a ton of blues and then you go ape shit and just spam the reds in the next deck. So yeah. I mean, in this case though, Hitler did blind cough, so that is possible, but when I'll refresh my thoughts. So 3 looks really good because 4-7 conflicted. And 3 is only fascist if 4 or 7 contains Hitler, which it sometimes does, not very often. But what this should mean is that I should be CNH to the table, and that'll be important later. A few other govs passed. I'm not going to analyze these 2 in depth. I don't really care. Oh, doubled it. So, this is important. I'll explain why. Riddler comped me on invest. He was the person I was to translate. He claimed I gave him the invest, and then he claimed 6 gave him the invest, and then he investigated me fascist. And 5-1 plays RRR. TMP gets SC'd, and he nominates Riddler. I'll say that this is really bad, and I'll give some reasoning as to why. I'd say at this point, when he made this pick on Riddler, me and 6 were considering counter-SCing the 5. I don't really know. I thought 1 and 5 were pretty equal. In fact, I liked 1 more, because 1 and 5 both sounded equal to me, but 1 is green and 5 is a good player, and 5 also SC'd 1. So, like, normally I just yaw 1 here, but Lame God said he had a read on 5, that he read 5 liberal. So I know I read Lame God liberal. So if Lame God likes 5, then I would be down to top deck to 5. Um, I'll talk about this decision a bit later. But yeah, actually I'll talk about it now. This was a mistake on my part, obviously. Like normally I just yaw 1 here, but I think I have this tendency to kind of just go off of other people's reads and like instead of my own, and to kind of like not really like say what I'm thinking or like go off my own reads, or to like kind of like just trust other people instead of myself. And I also didn't know that Lame God was kind of like green or like maybe yellowish, and I'm like orange. Like he's like 1600, 1700 range. I'm like 1800 range. So I thought Lame God was a bit better than he was for some reason. I feel like maybe I thought he was drafted earlier by Medusa or something. Like maybe I just have a memory of him being on a Medusa's team and being like really good or drafted early. I had this like false memory that he was like good, but that he was better than he was. Not that he's a bad player. I'd say he's around average, if not above. Well, he's not like in like the 1800 range. That's not what I mean by average, but he's 1700, like which isn't bad. Like I'm not trying to diss him, but I'd say I'm definitely better than Lame God by quite a substantial margin. I think I've played more chat games than him and stuff. And I should have overruled him and just forced him to yaw 1, but I didn't because I think I was just nervous. Like, I was nervous. Someone who I call liberal is SCing someone else. And I just didn't trust. Well, I did trust myself, but I think I just decided to go for someone else said over like what I would do normally. And I think that's a throw on my part because like these guys were all this guy was drafted like maybe like 2, 3, 4 rounds after me, probably like 3 or 4. This guy could have been drafted like 5, 6, 7, maybe like around that range after me. I was drafted in the 4th round, so like it really is my responsibility here to kind of lead the team. And I was a bit too nervous. And I saw Lamb God make a read, and that I would disagree with normally. And I think I would that I disagreed with. I'd say. Like I didn't read Warlike Fascist. I read 5 and 1 is equal on chat, and 5 resigned to 1. So 5's a much better player resigning to 1. So I should trust his read. And also 1's green. So if he sounds as good as 5. He has less of a capability to do that as Fascist, so I should reward that. That's what I would normally do, actually. I would reward that normally. But yeah, someone who I read liberal, Lame God, unfortunately neither of us were viable SCs. I don't think one would ever find us. It's just, someone who I read liberal, Lame God, because he was in the double dip comp with me and he sounded good. I didn't think it was 2 6s fast. SC'd someone else, and I was too scared to overrule him. I think that's really... He made an SC I disagreed with, and I had the power to overrule him because 6 actually SC'd me first. I had the power to overrule him, but I didn't. And I should have. I was just too nervous. It's a bit of an unusual role for me because I've just started getting good at the game. And also normally I'm playing with much better players who do hit their reads more often. But yeah, I should have just overruled him. The good thing about this though, if this is a small mistake, it's just a combination of like bad player knowledge because I thought Lame God was better than he was. And also just being a bit scared. I think I can work on this. Like, I think this could be a potentially easy fix. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be as of right now to just be more confident in myself. during the tournament. I'd say another missed opportunity for this was that at 1.1, 4, 5, and 7, SC'd 1, 4, and 7 both called 1 liberal, and I know that Envas and God Perseus are better players than Lamb God, and that I should trust their reads on 1 more than I should trust Lamb God's reads on 5. But I think by that point I was already so like emotional, like I wasn't fully focused on like the logic of the game, and I kind of just let that stop me from solving the game correctly, which is really unfortunate. But yeah. Now, one criticism for TMP is that by the time this pick was made, 6 had already resigned to 3. Like, he SC'd 3, he called 3, like, liberal. So, 2-3 and 2-6 is a double dip conf. And if you remember earlier, because 4-7 conflicted and 3-4-7 was a triangle, 3 is C and H because only Hitler would conf on 4-7 if 3 was fascist. Because a 2 fascist triangle is winning for fascist, or at least better odds than anything else. Most of the time it's better than anything else, and in this case it was pretty clearly better than anything else. So 3 is C and H because 4-7 comped, and highly liberal. So 3's only fascist lines are, like, I don't know. Well, 3's only, to put it this way, 3 is only fascist if 2 or 6 is also fascist, because 6 resigned to 3. So yeah, and I'm also only fascist if 4 or 7 contains Hitler, which it does. So my one line is like, I have 4 lines this game, only 4, and Riddler has like 20 or like 15 or something. Like, he has a ton of lines, and I really like. And I will say is that well, I was gonna say that 1-3 solves more, but since 6 resigned to 3, 1-2 conflicts. So 2 would be outed fascist because 4-7 also conf and needs to double dip. If 1-2 were to conf, then that would mean 3 and 6 would be confirmed liberal, I think. Well, hold on. So if 1-2 confs, 2 is outed fascist, 4-7 has 1, so no, we wouldn't have any confirmed liberals from that. It would just mean that there would be one fascist and 1-3-5-6. But anyways, 1-3 is a better gov because 3 is highly liberal and CNH. Like, 2 can be Hitler doing this. Not likely in the tournament, but he can be. And also, because 6 resigned to 3, 1-3 is game solving. If 1-3 confs, 2 become 6's outed fascist because 6 has C3. 3 is to 1 anyways. And that would confirm 2 is liberal, and it would also confirm 5 is liberal to 1, because that would mean that 3 and 6 are both fascist and 4-7 has 1. So if you're 1 and you see that 6 SC's 3 and that 3 is C and H and that 4-7 comped and that 2-3 and 2-6 comped, pick 3. Like, that's a game solving government view, and pretty much for everyone else at the table. Yeah, like not picking 3 there is a huge missed opportunity. Although, even if like 3 is like kind of like going against you if Lame got a bit, like, I didn't sound that bad to not be picked. Like, 3 only has like 4 fascist lines, and it just 1-3 solves the game when 6 FC's 3, and when there's a double dip of 2-3 and 2-6 and 4-7 comped. Because if 1-3 comps, 3-6 are both fascist, like I said earlier, and 4-7 has 1, yeah. So to not pick 3 there is a really bad opportunity, and I'm not just saying this because I'm 3. I'm saying this on logic. Like the same logic would apply to a 6 because I called 6 liberal as well. You could also go 1-6, and if that conf 2 would still be confirmed liberal. But of course, 3 is C and H when 4-7 confs, I think, because two fascist triangle is pretty high win rate, and to play that many reds that early as fascist is just, I mean to conflict that early as fascist in 4-7 is just not a good play, and I don't think fascists would do that. That's throwing win rate away for no reason. So yeah, TMP, I'd kind of say it's also worth noticing that everyone at the table considered that my only fascist lines were with were with 4-7 had Hitler, so I was called CNH universally. Like, so yeah, TMP. That's one thing I would say. You could have done better. Of course, I take the major. I'll take responsibility for this loss. But what makes it better for me was that I didn't lose because of like bad gameplay knowledge. I just lost because I was scared and a bit nervous and a bit emotional as well. So I think I can fix this pretty easily. So yeah, that's that. And now I'm going to go on to game 22. This was my third game in the tournament. I was liberal in 7. What does he claim? RBB choice? Yeah, he claims RBB choice. Or does he? He got RBB and he claimed RRB? Oh, Ambition. I don't know if you fixed that later, Ambition, but you gotta stop underclaiming RBB as fascist. Especially as Hitler. Because what's gonna happen more likely than not is that one of your co-fascists are gonna have to play Reds. And in this case, that literally is what's gonna happen. One of your co-fascists is gonna have to claim RRR. And by underclaiming RBB, you made the deck count lower, which makes your co-fascists look worse. Like, it's pretty universally agreed on that in most cases, underclaiming RBB is bad, and I think almost every high elo player will tell you that underclaiming RBB on the first gov is 100% bad, especially if you haven't been signaled. If you've been signaled, then maybe there's a case for it, but yeah, definitely not something that's, but even in that case, it's not that good in my opinion, and in the opinion of most top players, but whatever. RBB, yeah. So now it's 4B, but only 3B claimed. And yeah, Star Crush got RRR. So Ambition's underclaimed RRB made Star Crush look worse for no reason at all. I don't know if he fixed that. Oh, and Dave finds the last blues. So, yeah. Morientes gets RRR. I'd say that the underclaimed RRB also made Morientes look worse, but that's kind of just RNG. Like, don't underclaim RBB as Hitler. Odds are that most of the time you're gonna fuck over your own fascists, so don't do it. So 2 investigates 3 liberal. And I didn't like 2's chat. I can't remember what it was exactly, but they said some like artificial stuff. Maybe some stuff directed at me that made no sense, kind of like flinging shittish. I forget. But they sounded really bad, and I remember going back through the VC tournament text Discord room like after this game. A lot of people agreed with me around this time that 2 sounded bad. Yeah, so I decided that I'd make 3 take, and he picked 6. He picks RBR, and he's conflicted, and then he instantly SCs 1. I don't know why he did this. If he SC'd 1 because of like I didn't think I'd do it. I think it was kind of like a deck thing of like 5-1 RR, but it was like 5B6B, so maybe not, but I feel like that's kind of what he told me. He did tell me why, but I don't want to go and like look through our DMs because that's his private stuff. Not respectful to him. But yeah, I mean, like, if he... One thing I should have said was that Ambition stalls and cap spams as fascist, and he does a very good job at that. Um, so I should have made that a point because that might have been my one-on-one random liberal. So I should have at least brought that up and informed him. But I kind of assumed that was no knowledge to the table, so that was something I could have done better maybe. I also scumread Dave after this conflict happened because he was he was like pulling reads out of his ass, calling 4 and 5 liberals on chat. Like, you're not capable. I don't want to be mean, but it's like Dave's green, and greens don't really have developed social reads, so I doubt. So like, if a green is like saying that they socially read this, socially read that, most of the time it's just them trying to sheep. Like, if someone's reading shit when they're not capable of reading shit, and like, that's not a diss on Dave. He just needs more practice, in chat games. But like that usually means fascism. So I called Dave fascist, and I would have SC'd one, but he was the president, which is unfortunate. American 233 is spamming SC me, I want FC, which which can be a liberal out because it was in all caps, but I have no player knowledge on this player, and I saw a lot of greens stalling and like cap spamming as fascist, or just ambition, but it was like ambition doing that in earlier games kind of be a bit more rare. Is like, maybe this guy really is capable of doing stuff like that as fascist. I don't know. I don't know anything about this player, so like, he wasn't really contributing to the game. That's not on him because he's green. Well, he was a bit earlier on. He said a few things, but it's just hard to read him. It's just hard because he's kind of new to chat games. Not trying to disregard anyone's feelings. So I couldn't really read him because he was saying SC me. And another proposed thing was that maybe 4 could take and play 4-6 instead of 3 taking. This is kind of going back, but once 3-6 conflicted, the liberal win rate went way down. But yeah, anyways, but before 3-6 conflicted, people were considering maybe taking 4-6, and I didn't really like. Well, I wanted one-on-one to take for starters, which is kind of bad on. Well, maybe not bad on me, but like, I hadn't read liberal yet because 2 is bad. But also like the problem with like letting American take, which is something I normally consider, is that maybe he could throw the SC. Like that's one thing. Like, I know he's green, and might not know that throwing the SC is the optimal play, but there are lots of things that, but like with like players like these, they're kind of wild cards because I'm sure there's some good like tactics that American 233 knows, but and some things he doesn't. And it's kind of hard to know what exactly he knows how to do as fascist, especially when you don't play with him. Actually, it's very hard. And also, I wanted to make one-on-one take. I think what kind of happened here is that, well, one-on-one had a take, 3-6 conf, and I liked 1. Not much I can really do to stop that. I think I told Morientes to make an investigation in 3 or 7, and maybe I shouldn't have made like, I don't know. Like, I can't really blame myself too much for this game. Maybe I should have told Morientes to just investigate me instead, because I do think I'm better than one-on-one, only by a little bit. And also then we wouldn't have to worry about me getting conflicted or tanking, being forced to take, like right away. But yeah, I think maybe I should take blame for asking Morientes to one-on-one. I think actually, the longer I think about him, a bit more like, it's weird. It's weird. It's hard to kind of like gauge people in this like 1800 range. I'd say he's in the same like range as players like me and Omix and trying to think of the other ones. I haven't played and like new and like well maybe not like new might be above me, and like and Secret Ginger and players like that. He might be in like the same range as that. He is. So yeah, I kind of went on a tangent, but to kind of come back to myself here, I think maybe I should just ask to investigate me liberal maybe, just for the tracker. That's well, I don't know if I agree with that. I think the problem here was just that 1-on-1 had bad reads. He picked 6, and then that conflicted, and then yes, he'd 1. Not much I can do about that. I will say that 1-on-1 was too quick to SC. We had 10 minutes. I'm not mad. It's I don't know if I sounded like mad when I said we had 10 minutes just a second ago, but that was more of me like in a joking like a tone. I don't want to come off as angry at 1-on-1 or anything, but anyways, we have you know, you get 10 minutes to make an SC, make the most of it. Especially in a lobby of this many greens, like they're gonna out their roll during the SC. American was cap spamming and raging. Maybe if he does that for long enough, someone who's played with him. And I should have asked if any one of these players have played with American, and if he does this as fascist. That's something I definitely should have asked, because these players should, at least one of them should have some player knowledge on him, and that was a missed opportunity for me. But yeah, I mean, where was I? But yeah, like 1-on-1 should have waited on the SC. He SC'd after like 3 minutes or so, or something like small. And in that time frame, Dave had already outed Fascist when he called 5 and 4 both liberal. I think Ambition could maybe out Fascist. His chat is very good with the cap spamming and the stalling, like sounding liberal. So, like for his level, like Ambition's really good at sounding liberal. So maybe not, but I think maybe if he had waited a bit longer, this guy could have outed liberal more. And I think even me, like even myself, could have looked more liberal if he gave me more time to just try and solve the game. Especially because I had 6 as fascists too. But yeah, and that's just an unfortunate game. Even I don't know if Morientes is without liberal or not. I haven't played him in a long time. But that might be interesting. Might be worth noting. But yeah, anyways, Ambition picks me. I demand 6 gets shot. He doesn't. I tried to take. I would have taken gun here in pop 6 and asked for 3773 if I got this government. I didn't. They recognized they had a top deck. It was Murtix. Murtix and VC Text told me to insta-yaw. But Dave was stalling, making sure that one locked in 9. And that's not a bad kind of stalling, by the way. That's just making sure Hitler hasn't fucked up. So yeah, Dave was keeping himself unvoted, rather. That's a better term than stalling. He wasn't stalling. He was keeping himself unvoted until Ambition changed his vote to 9, so good job to him. And then once that happened, TD blew, and we just lose. This game, while there were definitely minor things I could have done better, I don't blame myself for this. I found 1 liberal, 1 fascist. That's pretty good. It was mostly just 1-on-1 having bad reads, and that's fine. That happens. And finally, in my last game. Am I recording? Just want to make sure. Okay, I was getting nervous. So, my last game, I was fascist. 1-5 IBB. 2-6 RR. Oh no. And here, 3 gets 9'd. Wait, no, not necessarily. 3-4-7 I yawed, look more liberal. I didn't think it would pass. And it didn't. 4-7, only 4 and 7, yeah. No. 2-6 getting RR is unfortunate. At this point in the VC, I'd spammed that I was adding lib, but look at this vote. 3-5 gets 2 yaws. 2! Meanwhile, 4 gets, like, 9 to like for no reason. I spammed I'm outing live in chat, which I guess maybe is a reason, and then I get RR here too. And because of my like geo meta, I'm kind of trapped. Like Source Talk was saying like you should imp one fascist here if you're not me. But like I have this strict meta that's really good for liberals, I think. But the problem with it is that it's like so good for liberals that when you're fascist, it sometimes fucks you. And I had to investigate the superstar in seat 6, which is bad because normally it takes. So, but anyways, 5-1 plays. I 9 to 6 look more liberal, and they tank RRR. And I tried very hard to out liberal here on chat by like screaming and stuff, but there's not much I can do. I probably won't stream in future VC games. Doesn't make the game fun, and I don't like doing it. Like I actually don't really get that mad when I play Secret Hitler. Like, it doesn't really make me rage. So like when I scream as like or like cap spam as either role, it's usually just me acting. Like I'll like act and pretend to be mad as like either liberal or fascist, just because I want just because I want to be red liberal. Like I think I'm gonna stop doing that though, because it's just not fun. Makes me feel a bit bad. I don't like to yell. Kind of a mean thing to do. But yeah, don't feel bad if I like rage at you. I'm not mad. It just and like I'll say this kind of off topic too, but if you see me mad in lobby chat, like I'm usually like 99% of the time, like I'm not even mad there. And like I think the only reason I do that is because like other people do it, and like when like a bunch of other people do it, it kind of becomes like ingrained into like the culture of the site, and it's weird. But like I think maybe like when I was coming up, or as in when I was new here, I saw a bunch of like Hilo slamming each other. Like they might have been like models to me that like kind of like influenced me to just do this as a habit. Cause like I have this habit to like cap slam after games, but like I'm never mad, which is weird. Not never mad, but like 1% of the time I'm actually mad. It's just weird. Like it's just a really weird habit that I haven't tried to beat. But yeah, don't take it personally, and I'll try and do better about that. But anyways, yeah. So anyways, I was doing the live outing thing. Pingu, my captain said that I had him sheep and that I had him liberal. Riddler knows me a bit more as a player. I think Maxi does. Well, Pingu knows me as a player too. I think Riddler knows me the most as a player. And Pingu liked one. He said, I think one like said something to outlive. He was a bit angry or something. And once Riddler, not Pingu, I see like one, the other two shortly followed. And there's not much that I could do here. Like I don't even blame this loss on myself too much. Wrath was or God Perseus was outed fascist by everyone, and I attacked him for it, but it wasn't my fault. What happened was he like outed Lib really hard by like screaming stuff the game before, and he wasn't screaming at all this time. And by this point in the tournament, people figured out that God Perseus not screaming means that he's fascist. So just like not much I could do to like kind of stop that. And of course people told him before the game that if he screamed again he'd be in trouble, but honestly like people have told God Perseus to stop screaming before, and usually he has a hard time like stopping himself from doing it. And I mean I love the guy, but I love the guy, but sometimes he can have a temper. Like no, like this guy's like actually like one of my good friends on the site, so like there's definitely no hate, but like if I was liberal, I'd know he was fascist, because like I know as liberal in tournament, he's gonna be pissed off, and he wasn't. So it's like okay. And Manu wasn't talking that much pre-HC, and even in later HC I wasn't talking that much, although I was talking a lot, so that might be it. But also, I mean, but it's like I don't really know why I wasn't talking that much. I think it might just be maybe just that he hasn't played tournament VC games in a while, or maybe he was like a bit nervous from his like first, I think, VC game in the tournament. First VC, like, I remember doing my first VC tournament game, I was quite nervous, so that might be it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, maybe it's just like a bit of a different format thing, because like it's kind of hard to like gauge how to talk when you switch. I don't know, like Manu's definitely not bad, but I think he was just caught a bit like off guard. He wasn't like as prepped up as he would be for a shot game, or maybe he just made a mistake. I don't know, but I think Manu was just having like an off game, which was unfortunate. I think in this game I sounded pretty good, but my other fascists kind of had these like external factors against them, so it's very hard for me to win that game. This game, I don't really take much blame for the loss here. I did my best. I think like I think my play investigating six um is not the optimal fascist play if you're not me. If you are me though, you have to investigate six because you have a personal meta that says you must always investigate the superstar over the pro, and there's a superstar here, so I kind of had to do it, or else I out fascist. But yeah, I think I did everything to the best of my ability. Um, and just to say, if that's not to say that the geo meta is bad for fascist, it's not. There are definitely benefits to it. You get to take high elotes out of the game if they're liberal. It's just in this one particular circumstance that happened to be bad. And there's pros and cons to every meta, and I'd say this is definitely a con of my personal meta. In this one scenario is that I have to imp my co-fascist. I can't imp anyone else. And there are people who look more liberal than him that I could take out. But yeah, I don't really take too much blame for this game. I cheat my captain. My captain thought I was liberal. You know, I was like, oh, okay. You know, but if Pingu has me as liberal, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. But yeah, I mean, just an unfortunate game in general. Like 1-5, like super liberal, and 2 gets RRR, and then after that happens, 1-5 continues to look liberal. 3 Scub gets 9, which makes him look really liberal, or like it looks like at least a little bit more liberal. And then I get RR too. So yeah, all the liberals found blues, all the fascists found reds. Very hard. Very hard. Although we had a chance at 5-1 RR, it just bad deck plus external factors of my teammates. Not much I could really do. Oh well. I think overall, I'm happy with my tournament performance. Out of the 4 games I played, I think I only really threw one of them, and I played competently in the others. So I'm happy with this. There's what you have to remember about the tournament is that even the best players like Pingu and like Medusa and like Manu and stuff only win like 65-60% of their games. So like even them, they lose 35%. And if you get 35% in a row, or 3 or something, and that does happen, like you can just get fucked sometimes. You know? And poor Mello, I remember Mello last tournament only won like 1 out of like 4 or 5 games or something close to that. And Mello was a good player and was a good player and still is a good player. What happened was he just got fucked. And that happens. So it's like, don't feel bad if you don't win as much as you'd like. Just try and look at things on an individual basis. I'm happy with this. I think I did a good job for my team. So yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed me reviewing my games, looking through my point of view. Bye.